Hello, welcome to the course UEC 001. In this module, we will discuss numericals on various biasing methods of BJT. Okay, so problem is given. One circuit diagram is given. This and for this circuit diagram, we have to determine the operating point. Okay, so here meaning of operating point means we have to determine the value of ICQ and VCEQ. Output variables we have to find output current and output voltage. Okay, and various parameters of this circuit are VCC is given as 18 volt, resistance R1 is 82 kilo ohm, resistance R2 is 22 kilo ohm, this RE is given as 1.2 kilo ohm, and beta is given as 50. Okay, so now we are having two options. We can either solve this problem with the help of approximate analysis, or we can solve this problem with the help of exact analysis. Okay, so let's see the impact, how we can solve this problem with approximate analysis. So first we must know what is the condition of approximation. So here beta into RE should be greater than or equals to 10 times of R2. This is my condition of approximation. So first we have to check whereas this condition is satisfied or not. Okay, so value of beta is given as 50, value of RE is 1.2 kilo ohm. So we have to check whereas this product is greater than or equals to 10 times 10 into 22 into 10 raised to power 3, which is the value of my R2. So this is the value of R2 given over here, and the conclusion is 60 kilo ohm is greater than or equals to 220 kilo ohm. So this condition is not satisfied. Okay, so as my condition of approximation is not satisfied, that means we cannot solve this problem with the help of approximate analysis. So we are bound to solve this problem with exact analysis only. Okay, so we have to solve this problem with exact analysis. So now for exact analysis, the very first step over here is to find its Thevenin equivalent network. Okay, so in order to find the Thevenin equivalent network, we first require the DC equivalent circuit of my given problem. And in the earlier module, we have discussed how to find a DC equivalent circuit. So the simple terminology is replace all capacitors by open circuit, then we can easily decouple my input and output from the network. So we have solved this problem in such a way that this is my input loop and this is my output loop, and this dotted line is actually indicating that the right side segment, this will treat as load, and this left hand side segment, we will try to solve this particular segment with the help of Thevenin theorem. Okay, we will find the solution. Okay, so for Thevenin theorem, this complicated network will be replaced by a simple series voltage and a resistance. Okay, and then we can reconnect the load. Okay, so let's see how we can solve this problem with the help of Thevenin theorem. Okay, so we have, this will be the outcome, this will be the final network. Okay, so there are two terms which we need to determine. The first thing is we have to find first voltage across open circuit terminal. So temporarily we have to remove it, and voltage across open circuit terminal means here we have to find voltage across this 22 kilo ohm resistance, because here this 22 kilo ohm resistance, okay, this is my open circuit voltage, and that will be same as my Thevenin equivalent voltage. So VAB is 22 multiplied by 18 divided by 82 plus 22. So my answer is 3.8 volt. So my Thevenin equivalent voltage source VTH, this is my 3.8 volt. Now we have to find the next component, which is my Thevenin equivalent resistance, that is RTH. So for that, we have to replace all energy sources by their internal resistance. So as there is a voltage source, so we have replaced the voltage source by short circuit and looking from the open circuited terms. So equivalent resistance will nothing but my Thevenin equivalent resistance, and it seems that the two resistances R1 and R2 are in parallel configuration. So 82 and 22 in parallel, and we have determined its value is 17.34 kilo ohm. Okay, so this is my RTH. And what we have to do now, we have to place the load circuit over here. Okay, so we have placed my load circuit over here, and in this input loop where this 3.8 volt, this is my VTH, and this 17.34, this is my RTH. Okay, so in order to solve this problem, we have to apply KVL to the input loop. Okay, so 3.8 minus drop across this resistance, that is 17.34, multiplied by IB. Current flowing through this resistance is now my IB, minus drop across this VBE. Okay, so I'm assuming that we are dealing with a silicon transistor, so whose VBE will be equals to 0.7, we have directly used, minus drop across this resistance, it is 1.2 kilo ohm, so 1.2 into IE, and I have marked this relation as relation number 1. Second, you can recall the important part, the emitter current is termed as IB plus IC, and we can replace the collector current IC equals to beta times of IB. Therefore we can replace the value of IE by 1 plus beta times of IB, and suppose I am marking this as relation 2. Now from relation 1 and 2, I am putting the value of IE from relation 2 to relation number 1, and now you can check I am having a single equation with single variable, so value of unknown can be easily calculated, and my IB base current is 39.6 microampere. So it is 39.6 microampere base current. So once base current is calculated, then I can easily calculate the value of collector current, 1.98 milliampere. So we have solved this problem with reference to a load line analysis. So you can check during the load line analysis, as we require a DC load line. So we have taken over here IE equals to IC, approximately equals to. And now when we are applying KVL to my output loop, so it is 18 volt minus drop across 5.6 kilo ohm minus voltage across VCE minus voltage across 1.2 kilo ohm. So I have written over here and I have solved that this value of VCE equals to 4.53 volts. So first I am having an interesting outcome over here, and I am marking the same in this curve also, characteristic curve also. If you can see that this should be my VCE set level, this is VCE saturation level, which is somewhere of zero point 0.2 in the practical scenario or 0 for the ideal case. You can check. We are dealing with NPN transistor. We were dealing with NPN transistor. And second, you can check here, value of VCE is positive. VCE is positive. So for NPN transistor, if VCE is positive, lying somewhere over here, that means my transistor is in active region. My transistor is working in active region. This is very important. We must know whereas my transistor is working in active region or in saturation region. So one can easily check from here also. Now you can see the typical value of IB is 39.6. So you can check from this characteristics. I have marked a level of 40 microampere. So I have marked this Q as over here. That is my operating point. And in this characteristic equation, once put the value of VC equals to 0, second time IC equals to 0, and I am having 2 points, 18 is to 0. So this is my first point, 18 and 0. and second point is 2.67 milliampere. So by drawing these 2 points, this is my DC load line. Okay, so I'm marking over here. This is my DC load line. It has included my load resistance. Okay, so point of intersection of this DC load line and this my IBQ, which is my approximately 40, as I'm having a numerical value of 39.6 microampere. Okay, so this point of intersection is my Q point, and while I'm moving this Q point on y-axis and x-axis, correspondingly I can find the value of ICQ and VCQ. So we can verify that these two results, ICQ is 1.98 milliampere graphically, okay, and VCQ is over here 4.53, okay, 4.53. So these are the terms which we have calculated, my operating point VCQ and ICQ for the given problem, and my IBQ was 39.6 microampere. Okay, so this is the complete solution. Okay, my problem was given of voltage divider bias. We have checked that for this particular case, condition of approximation was not valid. Therefore, we were bound to solve the problem with exact analysis. We have applied the exact analysis over here, and we have verified that my transistor is working in active region. We have shown the load line also. We have performed the load line analysis, and these are my final results. Okay, so let's proceed to the next problem. Okay, so let's see. This is the problem, and in this problem we have to determine the Q point. We have to determine the operating point. In addition to operating point, there are few more components we have to determine: base voltage, collector voltage, and emitter voltage. Okay, these points we also need to determine for this. Okay, so now first let us check which type of biasing is this. So for this particular network, you can check this is my emitter bias circuit. So this is my emitter bias configuration. And second thing is which type of transistor we have used. So we have used NPN transistor over here. Value of beta is given 125, VCC is given 20 volts, load resistance RC is given 470 ohms, resistance RE, feedback resistance 2.2 kilo ohm, and my base resistance 270 kilo ohm. Okay, so my first step is to find the DC equivalent circuit of my given problem. Okay, so replace all capacitors by open circuit. This is my DC equivalent circuit, and now you can check by applying KVL to my input loop. Okay, so here I have applied KVL to my input loop, and you can check from this I have easily calculated my input current IB, which is 35.2 microampere. So this is my current IB, 35.2 microampere. Okay, and once the value of IB is known, one can easily calculate the value of IC. So my IE will be equals to 1 plus beta times of IB, and this value is my, so it is 4.44 milliampere. This is my current IE. Okay, so now applying KVL to the output loop, 20 minus drop across this resistance minus VCE minus drop across this resistance. So 20 minus drop across 470 into current IC. So we have calculated minus VC minus 2.2 into 4.4. So as I have taken resistance in kilo and milli, so kilo and milli will be cancelled out, and let me solve this relation. So my VCE is, so it is 8.164. VCE is my 8.164. My VCE is 8.164. Interesting part over here is we are dealing with NPN transistor. VC is positive, therefore it is verified that transistor is working in active region. So this is verified. And now one can easily solve the another term. VC equals to VC minus VE, and VC equals to VCE plus VE. Okay, so this is the solution for the load line analysis. This is my characteristic equation. We have to find 2 points first. So my first point is this 20, and second point is 20 divided by 2.67. Okay, so these are the other results. My VE is 9.75 volt. Okay, and VB is 10.45 volts. Okay, now let us take another numerical, and again this numerical is based on voltage divider bias, and let us find the operating point over here. Let us find the operating point for this network, that means ICQ and VCEQ. Let us find these 2 points. So values are given as VCC is 22 volts, R1 39 kilo ohm, R2 3.9 kilo ohm, load resistance 10 kilo ohm, emitter resistance 1.5 kilo ohm, and beta is given as 100. So let us first check the possibility whereas we can solve this problem with condition of approximation or not. Okay, so my condition of approximation is, I have mentioned over here, beta into Re should be greater than or equals to 10 times of R2. This is my condition of approximation. So by putting all such values which are given in the network, one can check, and while we have put all the values, we have found that this condition is valid. Okay, so my condition is valid. So if condition is valid, we can solve the problem with approximate analysis. And what my approximate analysis says, that the value of base current is 0, IB is 0. Now if my IB is 0, that means entire analysis will be independent to beta. Okay, so entire analysis will be independent to beta, and the two series current, that means current flowing through this resistance and current flowing through this resistance, I1 and I2, these two currents will be equal, and this base current IB will be equals to 0 for approximate analysis. Now we have to find this voltage VB, that is voltage across 3.9 kilo ohm resistance. So it is, now apply voltage division rule. We have applied over here voltage division rule in order to calculate the voltage across this 3.9 kilo ohm resistance. So it is my so this was my 3.9 multiplied by 22 divided by 39 plus 3.9. Okay, kilo ohm will be cancelled out from numerator and denominator, therefore I have avoided, and I have calculated the value. My VB base voltage is 2 volts. Okay, so let us check the remaining parameters using approximate analysis. So as I'm assuming that my transistor is made up from silicon, and if my transistor is made up from silicon, then we can take VBE is 0.7 volt. So we can easily find the value of emitter voltage VE, which is VB minus VBE. So it is 1.3 volt. Also we know that VE equals to what? Drop across resistance RE. So it will be IE into RE. Therefore, we can calculate the value of IE. It is simply VE upon RE. That means 1.3 divided by 1.5 into 10 raised to power 3. So it is my 0.87 milliampere. Second, you can check as the value of base current is 0. Therefore, my collector current and emitter current both are equal. So this current IE will be same as my IC. Now, in order to find the value of VCE, apply KVL to the output loop. Okay, so for that, for KVL to output loop, 22 minus drop across this resistance minus VCE minus drop across this resistance. So you can check 22 minus 10 into IC minus VCE minus 1.5 into current 0.87. So here I have taken the value of resistance directly in kilo ohm, and kilo and milli will be cancelled out. Okay, so my VCE is 22 minus 11.5 into 0.87, or VCE is 12 volt. So one interesting outcome is we were dealing with NPN transistor. You can check value of VC is positive. So I am having a beautiful conclusion over here that my transistor is working in active region. Okay, so transistor is working in active region. This is my first outcome. My transistor is working in active region, and this is the analysis we have performed using approximate method. Okay, now we have solved the same problem using exact method also, so that one can easily understand the difference between the two methods. Okay, so let us find the solution for exact analysis. So first we have to find the Thevenin equivalent network. Okay, so I have calculated the value of VTH. VTH is 2 volt, and my RTH is parallel combinations of these two resistances. It is 3.54 kilo ohm. Okay, this is my RTH and this is my VTH. So here it is my VTH and this is my RTH. The remaining part is same. VCC 22, load resistance 10 kilo ohm, feedback resistance 1.5 kilo. Okay, let me check. Whereas this circuit is working in active region or saturation region in exact analysis also. So here I have assumed that my transistor is working in saturation region. I have assumed that my transistor is working in saturation region. And as no separate value of VBE saturation is given, so randomly I have taken this value 0.7, because it is hardly matter between zero point 0.7 and 0.8. Okay, so I have taken this value as 0.7. So from input loop now we can check the value of base current is 2 minus VBE divided by this resistance plus 1 plus beta times of emitter resistance. Beta is given as 100, so 1 plus beta is my 101. So I am marking over here, this is my value 1 plus beta, or it is 1 plus 100, as beta is 100. So after solving this, I have calculated value of base current is 8.38 microampere. So this is my base current from input loop. I have to calculate the minimum value of base current when this transistor is working in saturation region. So let me draw that circuit also when transistor will work in saturation region. So my circuit will be somewhere like this, and in that case I'm not completing the circuit in base side, because we people are interested in output region only. If transistor is on and no practical value is given, so we will assume that my VCE set will be equals to 0 volt. Okay, so we can check this value as 0 volt. So you can see it is my 22 volts kilo ohm, and this value is given as 1.5 kilo ohm, and current flowing over here is my IC set. This is my saturation current. Okay, so now apply KVL to the output loop, keeping VC equals to 0 as not given. This is my saturation voltage VC set. So 22 minus 10 I set minus 1.5 into I set. So I have calculated that my saturation collector current equals to 1.91 milliampere. With this database, I have calculated that my minimum value of base current is 19.1 microampere. So notion over here is minimum base current required for a transistor to work in saturation region is 19.1 microampere. So now do the comparison, and we found that 8.38 microampere is less than 19.1 microampere. So this condition is not satisfied. This indicating that our assumption is incorrect. Means my transistor is not working in saturation. However, this transistor is working in active region. So I have written the conclusion over here that my transistor is working in active region. My transistor is working in active region. So let's do the analysis. So if it is working in active region, we have solved IB equals to 8.38 microampere from the input loop, and for that I can calculate the value of IC and IE. IC will be beta times of IB and IE 1 plus beta times of IB. So by putting all these components, I am having IC equals to 0.84 milliampere, IE equals to 0.85 milliampere. Okay. Now, by putting all such terms, apply KVL to the output loop in order to find the operating point. Okay. So, by solving this, I have calculated my VC equals to 12.34 volts. This is indicating that with NPN transistor, VC is positive. That means my transistor is working in active region. So if you can see from the problem, we have to find the operating point. So meaning of operating point over here is my ICQ equals to 0.84 milliampere. My VCEQ equals to 12.34 volts, and these parameters we have calculated on input current. My IBQ is 8.38 microampere. So these are my results using exact analysis.